Kevin, you just moderated a panel. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We talked quite a bit about the 21st century data center and what we can expect in the next couple of years, what people are seeing now. There's a really tough balancing act between creating more efficient data centers and saving money while also having to then invest and build out the data centers with the requirements for continued reduced latency and growing market data volumes and trade volumes.
What was sort of the main point you think that came out of this panel discussion? What do you feel that sort of the main takeaway?
I think a lot of the cost savings people are seeing are from finding ways to reduce electrical power consumption. So whether that be using new processors that are more efficient in how they consume power. There was a lot of talk about different types of electrical standards, very sort of. It's getting to a point where it needs to be, the solutions are at a much lower level because the technology actually has evolved to such a point that the low-hanging fruit has already been picked. So more, I guess, in-depth or advanced methods are needing to be used to create more power efficiency than we already have.
Were there any interesting business cases or case studies that came out of the panel discussion?
There was quite a bit of talk towards the end. Microsoft was talking about its componentized data center, almost a data center in a box, and would we see some growth in that and a move away from the traditional data center? It seems like that will be something we'll see more of in the future. However, in this environment, everybody seems to feel that maybe the ability of some firms to essentially take a risk on a new technology have been slowed a bit. Because people are sticking with what they're comfortable with and don't have quite as much money to invest in sort of testing out new technology. But hopefully, as the economy starts to improve late this year into next, hopefully we'll be able to see more of a move towards that approach.
So does that mean that people are not conducting any kind of refreshes or updating their data centers at all, or what are sort of the main focus for firms in this environment?
Well, that's what makes the data center space so interesting, is that you can't rest on your laurels. They need to continue to increase efficiency, add compute power, add storage, because the markets aren't stopping. The data volumes are still high. The trade volumes are still high. And if you wait a year and don't reduce your latency, for example, for a year, you'll be well behind your competition. So although everybody has smaller budgets and needs to cut costs, they essentially have no choice but to invest and continue to improve. Even if it's just the most basic upgrades to the latest technology, they really have to do it to remain competitive.
Interesting. And so what is the main priority for a data center manager right now when they're looking to minimize the amount that they spend? What is the thing that they really can't afford not to spend money on?
From the panel, what we've learned is it's really all about reducing power consumption, and however you can do that. And the data center providers themselves are looking at they're more earth-friendly solutions, but really I think what the financial services industry is concerned with is how these earth-friendly solutions actually reduce power consumption. So whether it be solar or geothermal, they both spoke about, rather than the traditional sort of taking power from the grid. That'll be a huge winner. I think we'll see a lot of expansion in that area, over the next year or two. Google and Microsoft have already done quite a bit in that space by putting solar panels all over the roofs of their data centers, and we haven't seen quite that much of that in financial services, but it's inevitable, and that will absolutely come in the next year or two.
Is green a word you're hearing much these days, or is it really all about cost savings now?
I think it's all about cost savings, and it's an added side benefit that in trying to save costs, one of the ways to do that is by being green, by having to use less oil or less electricity from the grid and generating your own. So sort of regardless of what the motives are, it really works out good for everybody.
All right, Kevin McPartland, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.